Sometimes this world starts breaking me down. I get so lost, I think I'll never be found.
You ever notice when you're driving down the road and there's something off to one side or the other, you have a tendency to look over at it and see what's going on, or over here you just look and you notice that your whole body turns to an extent, and your arms and that steering wheel turns just a little bit, and you have a tendency to veer over. Ever done that? I've done it, unfortunately, a time or two. When I worked at the Speedway, I worked there 6, 7 summers. There was a gentleman, Jim Slinker, that worked there. Older gentleman that all he did for 40 hours a week was drive a tractor with a bush hog behind it. 6 foot wide, mowed the whole time. There was that much property that he needed to be on that 40 hours a week. Well, I remember at one point we bought what was called a bat wing. I think it's called a flex wing officially. But it's a bush hog, but it's got 2 flaps on the back. So rather than about 6 foot wide, you're going about 20 foot wide. And Jim would just fly along mowing 40 hours a week, all the property there. And what was amazing to me was I only remember once in my 6, 7 years there of him ever hitting the chain link fence. And he'd have to get within a foot or two of the chain link fence. We had it kind of mowed out a little bit, but he would get that close. Never hit it. He'd just be going along with his pipe in his mouth, just flying along. And what amazed me, that he never struck it, and he never looked back. His focus was forward, where he was going, not where he had just been. In Luke chapter 9, Jesus is walking along the road and he's talking with some individuals, and they're kind of giving him some excuses on why not to serve or why not to serve now. And I want to read what he says in Luke chapter 9, verses 61 and 62. He says, "Still another said, 'I will follow you, Lord, but first let me go back and say goodbye to my family.' Jesus replied, 'No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God.'" Jesus says, no, go forward. Don't look back. Those sins in your past, they're in your past. Don't dwell on them. Don't let them pull you down. Jesus says, I have forgiven them. I have forgotten them. Move forward. Move forward for the kingdom. Or maybe it's not sins. Maybe it's a great accomplishment in your past. Or God has allowed you to be part of something that has really been great. And you just dwell on that and you just live in the past. He says, no, it's great that was there, but be going forward. Glad you were a part of that, but let's go forward. Don't look back on your accomplishments. Go forward with what you're going to do for God. At one point, John the Baptist sends his disciples to talk to Jesus about the kingdom. And it's kind of neat. Jesus says, the kingdom is forcefully advancing. I like that. Forcefully advancing. It is going forward with the power of God behind it. See, God's power, it was there, it is there, it will be there. We need to not look back and veer off the path we're on. We need to look forward to what God can do, what God will do through each and every one of us. The kingdom, it's moving forward. And it's great that we can be a part of that. Look at how you can, pray about how you can find the opportunities that lie out there for you to be a part of the kingdom, not looking back, but going forward. Let's move forward with the life God has given us.
All your words are true. Doesn't matter where I'm going, if I'm going with you, I press on. 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 And I still don't get it. Life goes on, but your love will prove. All I need, I will find in you. Life goes on, but your love will prove. All I need, when I still don't get it. I press on.